guys, happy Saturday. I've been on a few calls this morning and I also had to respond to a contract. And so here's what happened. I got invited to teach a master class on all the things that I'm going to be talking about in here. And I was so excited when I hopped on with this lady but there was like an unrest in like right here. In Hawaii, we call it na'au. Um, but I think in like general terms, probably solar plexus area. So anyway, so I hopped on the call with her. Hi, Liko. I hopped on the call with her, and I was like, cool. I get to teach my master class, and it's the stuff that I'm going to be start rolling out. And it was a paid master class, and but as we were going through the conversation, she was like, okay, teach a 2 hour master class here. And then she wanted me to teach a 4 hours of 4 hours total. And she's like, well, what's your price? I said, you know what? This is stuff that I normally teach to my private clients, but I was willing to teach. I'm a teacher. Y'all know I'm a teacher. I say y'all, like I'm Howley or something. But you know, I love teaching, so I said it's a paid master class. Like they were gonna pay me per person that showed up. But there was just something in my gut that even though like things lined up, wasn't really sure about. Got the contract. Took me a couple days, and I finally had time to sit with it today and read it. I mean, I read it, but then I really read it today, and that's. But I have been in unrest since like Wednesday, Thursday, for like 3 days. Right? So like, what's bothering me? Like I couldn't figure it out. There's other things that have been happening as well, but I was like, oh. And then when I read the contract, there were deliverables that I had to create, and I told her I would give them to her by Friday. So it was kind of like not rushing, but I knew what I needed to do. But for me to get into creation mode, it takes some energy. It's just, I like to be in the zone, and it takes me to be like in the zone to get things done. Give me a yes or some kind of heart emoji if that's you. Like you're a creative who takes time to get into the zone in order to get like the good stuff, right? So if I'm creating a class, and this is what I also used to do in corporate, right? Yes, we had slides, we had trainings, like we had a whole LMS learning management system, but I would take content from there. Thank you. I would take content from there, but really match it to my audience, because not all content is delivered equal. Like all content may be created equally, but all content is not delivered equally. I'm really I like dialing in content for people because I'm that person who wants to just show up and be like, hit it, okay, good. Did I get something from it? Got it, good. I mean, especially in these days where so many Zoom calls are happening, you're like, do I need to be here? Do I not need to be here? I was actually on 2 Zoom calls this morning, like simultaneously. Um, don't do that. I don't recommend it, but I just wanted to try it out. So anyway, with this feeling in my gut, right? I was after I got off the Zoom calls this morning, and I sat down to. Actually, I kind of prayed about it this morning. Good, I'm not the only one. But I sat down this morning and I was just like, huh. And I read over the contract again. And I was like, these parts, there's 2 sections, um, really stood out to me. I'm like, no, like in my heart of hearts, I cannot agree to it. So even though I was like, it's a paid master class. Usually you teach in master classes, you don't get paid. I mean, you do or you don't. So the thing that I did not agree to was what soliciting to people. So, like, say I'm doing it on her platform, I'm not able to solicit clients from that event. It's not that I'm trying to like pick at her clients or whatever, or fleece her sheep, however you want to call it. But I would like the ability to, right, people hop onto my masterclass, I teach and I give, especially 4 hours worth of my time, because I think she was gonna just charge like $25 a person. So on the call, I agreed to that because like, hey, I get to nurture them. going forward and stuff, and potentially they'll become one of my clients. And there was a clause in there that said I have to like create a contract with them. Like if I get any clients through their platform, then I would have to negotiate another contract. So that was one thing. And then there's something else. But when you read like the bottom half of the contract, so I would say like sections 10 to 19, there's 19 was the last section. It had all of these things that totally like indemnified them from any repercussion, and which contracts are supposed to be for us to cover our butts, right? But I was reading it, I was like, there was like no like because force majeure, right? It's supposed to protect the person offering the contract, and then I, as the receiver of the contract, would be forced to conduct any and all whatever things in there. And she's in a different country, she's in the Caribbean, so the power of Facebook and the power of those connections. But like there was just something in there that really like let them off the hook should anything go wrong or should the contract go south. And the stuff I'm going to be teaching in there is my proprietary material. Oh, that was the other piece. That anything that I put on their platform would be royalty free, and like they could just like no non-licensable or transferable license, and all this jargon. I was like, no, I'm not agreeing to give them my content because this is stuff that I teach to my private clients. I'm in the process of trademarking it because it's really good stuff. I'm gonna teach it in here too, but like royalty free, all this licensing thing, like, and they can use it, and the licenses are transferable. I was like, that just, it's like I'm giving them all my content for free. And should I want to release my own, like, say I want to turn my stuff into a course later, but they still have it, And there was clauses on there that said, oh, should you wish to terminate your contract and whatever, you just terminate it and you just not become an instructor anymore with us. But I was like, but they would already have my content, and who knows what someone would do with that content if they are in possession of it, And so that was one thing. And then with the bottom piece where like they're like scot-free should anything happen, I was like, wait a minute. So it just didn't feel good in my gut. All of that to say, sometimes as leaders we have to make decisions on the fly. I get it. So, and I am a firm believer in let your yes be yes and your no be no. And so I felt really bad about rescinding my application to be an instructor inside of their platform, but it just didn't feel right. So just always know that, listen to your gut, right? If you're a believer, right? The Holy Spirit, your gut, whatever, it knows. And for those of you who are also here because you've had relationship issues in the past, you probably know that your gut probably said, don't date this guy, like don't keep, so this is like contracts, right? Don't stay in contract with this guy. And you kind of like, so this is what I was thinking as well. Well, maybe, like I like her, like what if she doesn't screw me over? But the contract was so open that she had every right to screw me over and I had no recourse. So, she could alter the contract and maybe we could consider it, but I told her for now, I'm just rescinding my application. And there's times in life where I wish I was able to rescind my application, or my contract. I signed a contract, sort of, with another person, maybe it's a significant other, like sometimes you wish it's when we become entangled, it's like an unwritten contract, right? If you're a believer, it's called a soul tie, right? When we're soul tied with someone, it's very hard to detach and untangle ourselves from those like unwritten, unspoken, but they're very binding contracts. So all of that to say, don't as a leader we have to make decisions quickly. I get it. And in the refinery, we had to make decisions like snap. I mean, things could blow up, and I was like, oh, like I didn't have time to do a plus, like a pros and cons list. Like if I did this, or if it's like, oh snap, I have to make a decision. Press A. And I had to do this rapid fire like pros and cons list. Like what if I hit A or B, and what. But it over time you'll get to know like in that world you get to know like should I hit A or should I hit B or whatever. Like we had all these buttons to push. So and it just takes time to develop your gut. And one, if you've been burned in the past, like I've been burned by just like willy-nilly signing contracts, and then in the end it didn't end well, and I was screwed. I was like, oh shoot, I'm out of money. Like what if this relationship doesn't go well? I'm out of this money, and I can't ask for more money, or but your gut knows what you should do or not do. And sometimes if you're a verbal processor like me, sometimes you have to talk to someone, because I was talking to my husband last night about it, like I finally got around to reading it yesterday, and then like overnight I was like, oh, I don't know, like did I make the right decision? I don't know. So this morning when I woke up, I had made the decision that I'm not gonna. And I went back in and reread it like in depth. I'm looking over there because that's where my computer is, but I read it in depth. I was like analyzing each word. I was like, nah. Even though I didn't know what each word actually meant, I could have ran it through my lawyer, but I was like, it's not worth it. My gut already says no. And so this applies to like all kinds of contracts. Your gut knows. So hopefully this helped you today, Liko. Let me know if this helped you today, and just nice chatting with you guys. And I'll be creating this week's content today. I like creating on the weekend. Like during the week, it's just business, work, calls, and all that kind of stuff. So I like to create my content over the weekend, and then I schedule it ahead of time, and then I'm free and clear. So on Instagram, that's why I'm horrible on Instagram because I'm like, I just signed up with Planoly. I've been like late to that bandwagon. My clients don't really live on Instagram, so I'm a Facebook person, and I love Facebook groups. But yeah, I'm getting into the habit of creating stuff on Instagram. And my friend Linda, she was on the summit. Linda Eno, she's starting her membership. We're in a mastermind together, and she's starting her own membership course, and she's really good at helping people create consistent content consistently. And so I'm so excited to be starting that. And Linda, if you ever, right? Groups are the only good thing about Facebook. Like feed, I silence feed, yo. I silence people on my feed. I don't unfriend. I did go through an unfriending frenzy, only because the algorithm, and that's why I've been doing posts in here about algorithm. And are you guys actually seeing these posts? Because I feel like the algorithm is just messing with people these days. And I did a Facebook Live on my business page, and I was talking about Trump and Fauci. I said the word Fauci, and I kid you not, I had like this one rando, I don't know where he's from, like dark skin profile picture. I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm just saying he might be Middle Eastern or like Eastern, so I'm like, and he was commenting on I was like, hey, welcome. And he's like, say my name. I was like, oh, no, you don't mess with the wrong girl. You don't. And I was like, bye. And then, I just kept talking. I ignored him, and then eventually he went away. But, talking, it's just Facebook has been very, I don't know, their censorship game during this COVID has been like, their game has gone on a whole different level. Because some of the people I follow, they're religious or whatever. Their content's been hidden from me, and I have that star where it says see first, because I like following them. Like I listen to them in the morning, you know, because they have prayer calls and stuff, and I listen to them in the morning, and then like, where's the prayer call? And I'll have to go and search for them. Like, why is Facebook censoring the stuff that I want to see first? So anyway, not to get political, it's Saturday. Gotta keep it light. Gotta keep it airy. See, I did I did a face. I didn't do my face mask yet, but I did my peel. So see, bare face Saturday. And you can tell I have like English and German because I have freckles. You know, for those of you who want to know, I am Japanese, Chinese, Hawaiian, English, and German. So that, because people ask, what? Not like, especially here in California, I went to a wedding, and it's my Asian friend's wedding, right? Oh, Jen, she's in this group, and she was like, or what? Well, the dude sitting next to me, he was like, not to be rude, but what are you? Like, what nationality are you? And I was like, oh, it's okay. You know, as if you're in Hawaii, like nobody, it's not a taboo subject. Like, people talk about nationalities all day, every day. So it's kind of been an adjustment living on the mainland. Not making racial slurs, but just racial comments. And then it's like a whole different thing up here. I'm not trying to be offensive. It's just like race and nationalities weren't a thing back in Hawaii because everyone's mixed. And it's just like, oh, what are you? Oh, I am this, this, and this. It's just, yeah. Right? Well, I would want to know what are you, Nico? Cause right, like, yeah. And then people up here think I'm Mexican. No offense, but like they're talking to me in Spanish, and it's not even like habla, like a question mark. It's just like and I'm like, no habla. And I don't know. I watched the Babbel commercial. Is it hablo or habla? I don't know. So I always thought that A was for female and O was for male ending, but I never took Spanish. I took Japanese and Hawaiian language in school, so that's just it. So anyways, if you guys oh, right. Okay, hablo. Thank you. See, learn something new every day. And oh, so the fun fact, the person who contacted me about this whole masterclass thing, I commented on someone else's Facebook post, because she's like, you know, like one of these random questions like that people post on Facebook. Hey, do you want to learn a language? And I was like, oh yeah, I should learn Spanish since I'm living in California now. And she private messages me like, hey, I teach Spanish. And I was like, oh, I teach leadership. Like maybe, you know, like I just flipped the script on her, and then, yeah. So I was like, yay! I was excited when the thing first came out. I was like, ooh, I flipped the script. I stood in my power. I was kind of feeling like, oh, she just hit on me. Like, you know, like when you go to a bar and you're like, oh, I just got in here and somebody's just like hitting on you. I'm like, I didn't come here to get hit on. I came here to drink drinks with my girlfriends, you know, or whatever, if using the happy hour analogy. And then I got hit on. And I was like, so I flipped the script. We got on the call to talk about the masterclass. I was super excited. Then I read the contract. I was like, oh, not sure, not feeling it. And who knows? It's a new thing that she's doing, so probably the contract needs to be tweaked. It should probably, you know, they should filter it through their lawyer or something like that. It looks like they kind of wrote it themselves, but hey, I've written contracts myself too, so ain't no shame in that game. But yeah, so that's just a funny sidebar to hablo. Maybe I should have took her up on some Spanish. Anyhow, thank you, Nico. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys come next week. You'll see a post tomorrow that I'll be posting, but that's not me. That's the fancy auto scheduler in a Facebook. You know, because Facebook is good for a lot of things, and the native scheduler helps me to get things out. And so, fun fact, I was posting a lot during the summit, But what I did was, I think I was doing like 6 posts a day, just reminders like, hey, this is who's the featured speaker, emails coming out, blah blah blah. And then someone was like, wow, you're really posting a lot. And I was like, oh no, those are all scheduled. Those had already been scheduled. So yeah, I'll be talking more about it's not time management, but it's my time wheel. So I'm in the process of trademarking, and then I'll be talking more about that in the next couple of weeks, because I know that right now everyone here in quarantine, time management is a thing. You know, it's a real thing. And email inbox management is a real thing. I'm doing that for one of my clients right now, just helping her set up filters, and because clients are going missing, right? Her inbox is so full that she's missing client inquiries, and she sends out emails, you know, like her weekly emails and stuff, and she doesn't have time to reply, or the replies are getting missing. So like someone comments like, hey, great job. She wants to have that, you know, that organic growth of her community, and she's missing replying to those people. And so, you know, I was like, I can do that for you. Email and managing email is something that I do in my sleep. And, you know, God gave me this gift. I should be able to give it back. You know, I feel like if I can give back and I can be of service, then all the better. And so, I don't know if you guys are business owners and you guys are in the process of creating today, maybe you can think about like, how can I lead? I mean, I would love to learn more about how I can lead you guys, and how I can be a better leader here in this group, how I can show up more fully and effectively. That would really help me out. But you know, like maybe think about like, what do you have? Because that's actually a part of the time wheel thing. Because it's not really about time. I just use the acronym TIME. But really, what do you have to offer the world? Like, what is God speaking to you in this time? How is God showing up in your life? And like, I don't know about you, but I've been getting tons of downloads, like pew, 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 pew. Like they're coming rapid fire, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. But you know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, God doesn't give you, well, that's not biblical, but you know, you'll never get any more than you can handle, but there's still a filtering process. And so we're going to be talking more about that in the next few weeks coming up. So excited to be sharing that with you guys. And so here's the silver lining that came out. That's the stuff I was going to teach in the masterclass, and I said, well, heck, if I'm gonna have to give it to this lady for free, and then it's royalty free, license free, and all this stuff, like, if I'm gonna give anything away for free, I'm gonna give it to you guys, because you guys made a commitment to me to be inside of this group, and that I can get along with. You know what I'm saying? So, all of that being said, go out, well, not go out there, stay in, but you know, like, go out there digitally and conquer. Go out and conquer today. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Bye.